Hello. Welcome, guys. Welcome to an episode of Rant Bollox. A nice podcast episode. We're not talking about GOT, Game of Thrones, aka piece of shit, season 8. No, we're talking about just the usual, movies and TV shows. What have we been watching? What we're looking forward to? And yeah, kicking these back off. We're going to be making these a little snappier, but we're going to be firing questions to you guys. You obviously let us know in the comments what you want us to talk about as well. And please comment as well. We love it when you guys do. But how have you been, Paul? How's stuff been?
You seen Game of Thrones, Al?
Have I seen Game of Thrones? The question is, will I watch 1 to 7 ever again? Maybe, but I'll leave it a while. So
there's been a lot of comments on the videos about Game of Thrones and what they should have done, and there was one thing that I did want to bring up real quick. Was somebody commented, I can't remember the name, that he watched all the episodes up to 4 and then he stopped at 4 and he hasn't watched the final 2 episodes. He doesn't think he ever will. I
could totally see people doing that as well. And you're not missing anything, buddy. So
no, it's like at this point, if somebody comes to you in 5 years and says, "Should I watch Game of Thrones?" You're like, watch 6, maybe 7 seasons, and then take a break, go home.
Yeah, I know. Actually, a buddy of mine is rewatching them right now, and he just finished season 1 on the weekend, this weekend, and he's like, "Oh my god, it just blows season 8 out of the water." So, yeah, it kind of made me want to maybe watch it again, but I'll give it at least 6 months because there's so much.
Well, even when you said last week after it ended, you're like, "Oh, let's pick out our favorite moments." And after that, I went looked through a thing, and then it just said great moments of Game of Thrones, and I was just like, "Holy crap! This show is just filled every season with something memorable."
Totally.
And this season, it's like, no, it just died, and I think people have kind of forgotten how good it was. And I know people are, it's never going to live up to people's expectations. Even if it wasn't going to live up to hyper expectations, it should have at least been as good as any other season out there.
Yeah, 100%. I think if I looked back on the season, the only things that stuck out to me were visual things. So when the Night King was attacking, that was a pretty tense scene, and seeing all the zombies kind of run in, the White Walkers and all that lot. So that was pretty cool, but it was just a visual thing, and it didn't really help the story. And then obviously the way that ended was poor. But those are the only things that really stuck out to me, a couple of art direction things. Apart from that, nothing ticks any boxes. Whereas every other season had a huge death or a storyline kind of plot that just changed how you saw it ending. So yeah, but we've had 6.
That's it.
We've probably six. We've had 6 podcasts on it. Each of them were at least an hour long. So yeah, we've talked 10 hours on it. And yeah, what can we say?
We're done now.
We
can't say anything else.
Yeah. One thing I will say that kind of segues into this is I'm hearing some really good things about Chernobyl, and it's a TV show, and it's HBO as well, I believe.
It's not a nice place. I wouldn't go there, Al. If you're going out for your Christmas vacation, I'd pick maybe Costa Rica or Cuba or something.
It's kind of little side joke here is one of our buddies. Whenever we go out on a night out, and he's had a bunch to drink, and then maybe we have a kebab or some fish and chips or something. The morning after, if he was to fart, we call it Chernobyl, because it clears a room. It can kill animals, it strips wallpaper. But for years we've said it, and yeah. So actually half the time when I say Chernobyl and people at work's like, "Oh, have you seen the series?" I kind of think of this guy, and I'm just like, oh god.
The series looks great. I saw some of the cast, and obviously it's super dramatic, tense thing, and there's all this insight into it, because Chernobyl to most people is just a thing that happened somewhere over there in the Russia area.
Yeah.
And it's a bad place. So this looks like it's going to be a cool thing, but it's only a a mini series. It's not going to go on and on.
Yeah,
so,
it's actually only 5 parts. I'm just reading it now. Actually, it's a 5-parter. 3 are already out. I'm guessing 4 maybe tonight. However, the IMDb and the Rotten Tomatoes. IMDb is 9.7, Rotten Tomatoes is 96%. Now, there's only been a few of them, and it's still brand new. But I think that one's definitely on my list, and I'll be catching up and watching that very soon. So.
And that's HBO as well, isn't it?
It is HBO, yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'll check that out.
Yeah.
The other one on HBO that I can recommend that I have watched is Barry, which is on after Game of Thrones on Sundays.
A couple of guys at work have been talking about that. It's supposed to be good.
Yeah, I started watching the first season before Game of Thrones, and then they got like this placement where they get to be the show right after it. But that show is just great. It's from Bill Hader, who did Saturday Night Live and wrote Superbad, but it's not like an out-and-out comedy. It's like comedy and drama.
Oh, sweet.
It's really, really good. Really original.
Okay, all right.
So, yeah, and I think it's only half-hour show. No, maybe it's not half hours, but it's really good.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just going to write that on the list now as well. So, yeah, what you... I know you watched Brightburn, and I'll be watching it, so we'll have like a little review on that. But what was your just initial thoughts on it without going into too much detail, because we'll do that next week.
Yeah, next week when we go into it, there'll be a bit to dissect. I would say it was a pretty solid premise. Like, it's something that could have been interesting, but they just didn't do much with it. It's a horror movie for anyone who doesn't know, and it's like there's a lot of things in it that are just bad decisions. But it goes from start to finish. You watch it like, yeah, okay, that's so bad.
Okay,
it's it's not the worst thing in the world, but for what they had, it wasn't good. And then if I'm looking at it from like a nerdy Superman fan, it's just like, it's way too predictable.
Right.
So like it feels real slow, because if you know the Superman story, it's just like, all right, let's move this along here. Let's get to where we're going.
Yeah, they always like to tell those origin stories. I mean, this one's obviously telling it in a different way, but still, it's like Batman. We joke about it's like, how many times do we have to see his parents fucking die?
Yeah,
I
would say that, like, breaking it down, I don't really like it at all, but that's for a whole different bunch of reasons I'll go into next week in detail.
Sure. All right.
But like, as a movie, if you're watching, you're gonna be like, yeah, it's not bad, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's
okay. All good.
It's written by Sean Gunn, James Gunn, the guy who did Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, really? Okay.
He produced it, and his brothers are the ones that wrote it.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. I always like hearing about that kind of stuff where you're like, oh, I didn't realize it was that person and his brother or whatever. So you think a film like that, it would, because it's not as well known, it wouldn't touch like a big director or something.
Just people in the industry all know each other. It's the way it goes.
Oh, yeah. What else you been watching, man?
Been watching a lot of UFC fights for some weird reason.
Oh, yeah? Are you
just catching up on it?
Is there stuff happening in that? Is like, obviously I know McGregor's the big one, and any other dude, but there must be other people, so you must be watching them.
No, I'm watching the old ones because I have like they've got an app, UFC Fight Pass, so I got that, and I'm like, I'm just gonna go watch some of the old fights.
Oh,
and
shit.
Just like,
okay.
I've been watching George St. Pierre, his career, like where he started and like his fights and stuff.
Yeah,
so
he's a legend.
Yeah, exactly. He's the legend now, and you want to see where he came from, and when this was like 10 years ago I've been watching it from. So
right.
he's been fighting since he was 25. So like 15 years he's been fighting.
Right. Yeah.
And just like, wow, this guy, you can see why he rose to the top and stuff. It's cool.
Talking about fights, next week, June the 1st, we got AJ, Anthony Joshua. So I know we've got a lot of US listeners. So he's fighting in New York, and he's fighting a Mexican fella who lives in the States. But Ruse.
He should be fighting American.
He should have been fighting an American, but unfortunately...
Miller's an idiot.
He got Jared Miller. What an ass. He got done for doping, and I think he had like 3 or 4 different substances. Can't even say it. But he basically... He would have fucking murdered AJ, like if he like was on a roll. And apparently... because he's a really big guy, this is the one that was doping, and he throws a record amount of punches, and even he's been like taken 12 rounds before, and even in the 12th round he was throwing crazy amounts of punches. So people are saying that he's probably been taking this stuff for a while. Because he's a massive
He's definitely
guy.
been on it for a while.
Yeah, he's a massive guy as well. AJ would say this, but AJ said that he would have fought him anyway. It's just like, no. So anyway, that's going to be happening, and also I know Katie Taylor is fighting, and she's got a massive fight because she's going to unify the division if she wins. So she'll actually have all the belts
if she wins it.
So that's
I'm really excited for that. I'm more excited for that one than AJ at this point because
I am because his
AJ's
opponent isn't
kind of
there
a
anymore.
Yeah, like this was his US break. He's going to fight a fighter so that he could get the US market, and then it's all part of the strategy to get Wilder and then have the unification fight with Wilder.
Yeah.
And no offense to Ruiz Jr., but when you're coming into a fight late and it's a fight against the best fighter in the world at the moment, no one's putting a lot of stock into it. Now, that said, boxing's famous for having these kind of upsets. Tyson got screwed over because he just took a fight for granted, got destroyed. There's loads of stories like that in boxing. So you could have a Rocky moment.
Yeah.
This kid could come out and just like whack one punch and we're all like, holy crap.
Yeah, you just don't know, I guess. And that's the like little excitement there. But I 100% agree with you. I mean, AJ I've always followed, but Katie Taylor all the way. Like I'll be tuning into that. I believe that's on DAZN because they're both signed up to it. So you can watch that on DAZN, Sky Sports, and a bunch of other ones as well. So that's going to be great to watch next week.
It's a big Saturday for me. I got the Champions League final at Liverpool, and then we got the AJ fight.
And
actually, I think it's the other way around.
Oh yeah,
no, that doesn't make sense because the fight's at like midnight.
Right,
isn't it?
The fight will be. I'd imagine it will be like 9 or 10, but maybe it's midnight. I don't watch a lot of New York fights, so I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Vegas. Vegas fights are midnight.
Right. Yeah, I think so.
Then it's like 8 hours.
And the other thing, while we're talking sports, which we don't usually do for too long, is go Toronto Raptors. The Toronto Raptors, for the first time ever, have made the NBA playoffs. It's playoffs. Finals, sorry.
The finals.
Yeah.
They're the Eastern Conference champions. It was pretty great. Like, they're the only Toronto-based team that hasn't won their particular league or sport.
Yeah.
So, like, the TFC have won the MLS Cup. Blue Jays won the World Series. They're way back when at some point the Maple Leafs won the Stanley Cup. So the only team now that's left to give Toronto the 4 crowns is the Raptors to get the NBA finals.
Yeah, and they've got the right players for it, and this last one they won 5 in a row, so they're on a roll for sure. They're going to have a nice rest because they don't play until Thursday, I believe, so they're going to have a bit of a rest there. Awesome. Like, just awesome news. I'm not much of a basketball fan, and to be fair, if I was going to watch it, I'd probably just tune into the last 10 minutes because that's usually when it matters. But no,
I know some people are big fans, so I might tune in and just hang out with them and enjoy it. By association.
Yeah, totally.
Their passion will rub off, but. Yeah, for me, it's just that, Toronto's the old homes, the old stomping ground.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah, go Raptors, go win,
Well, it's Canada now because it's Canada's only team, isn't it? So
that's true. They're the only Canadian basketball team.
Yeah. So good.
The Blue Jays are the only baseball team Canada has. And Raptors are the only basketball team Canada has.
Yeah, that's right. Go fucking Raptors.
So that was Saturday night.
Yes,
that happened.
Yep, that was right. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're gonna go into work tomorrow because I don't know if anybody's seen it. You can check it on YouTube. Like there's the downtown core of Toronto, which is just jammed with people all leaving the center. And there's this place called Jurassic Park, which is just a big screen where everyone can gather around and watch the game. That's right outside the court or right outside the ACC. And after everybody streams out, there's like Union Station where all the trains are and all the buses. It's just rammed with thousands of people all cheering and chanting and getting up on buses and just like loving it.
Yeah, and you know what's amazing is the police didn't make any arrests. So
no, everyone was like really just good proper way of celebrating everything.
Yeah. Now if they lost. The buses.
If they lost, they'll do a Vancouver and destroy everything.
Yeah, that Vancouver had a bad one, didn't they? During hockey, wasn't it?
they lost the Stanley Cup and everyone went nuts.
Yeah, they went like burning cars and stuff, weren't they?
I don't understand that mentality though. Like rioting because you lost.
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
Yeah.
Riot because somebody's being a dick to you or like they're taking away your freedoms. Don't riot because your sports team lost.
I know. There's going to be another try next year. Come on.
Yep. Not now, because all your superstars are going to leave and be like, I'm not living in this city.
I know.
People are crazy.
Looking scared of it.
like those Brazilian teams when they lose and they like one of the guys ends up dead in his house and stuff.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah.
The guy who missed a penalty. It's like, yeah, you're dead.
Yeah.
Sports is fun.
Sports. Well, plenty to watch on that.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask you, because we were planning to like chat around the AJ fights and the Katie Taylor fight, so we could still do that. We can do a live stream of that. But now that it's not Miller, I don't know how interested you'd be in watching the whole night.
We could tune into the certain ones, as in I know that we're not allowed to show them on our screen, but we've been wanting to do some live streaming, so I'd totally be up for Taylor for sure, and then Anthony, depending on when he comes on, because I know Taylor will be before. She'll be like 2 or 3 fights before, won't she?
Yeah, I think she's one of the headliners at this point.
Yeah, we can give Taylor a go for sure, because I know that we want to do some of the live streaming anyway, so it'll be a good little test. So we'll just go live on YouTube, and people can kind of just hear our thoughts, I guess.
Yeah, well, we'll have to do the whole thing, otherwise it's a bit weird for people to tune in and out.
Oh, just the one, yeah. Well, let's.
All right, guys, we're going away for an hour.
Yeah,
talk to you later.
See you later. Well, let's find out the times and see kind of what the deal is.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah,
it'll be a good evening. Actually, we'll see if Liverpool have lost that day. I might be drunk and not in a state to talk to anybody.
Yeah, I know. It's just like we were just talking about your team loses and you get upset. It's just like it's the same thing with like with AJ. Like when he fights, they get all nervous and stuff. And then what was it? The Toronto Raptors. I've got a buddy at work, and he doesn't like to go down to the pub and watch the games. He has to kind of watch them on his own, in his living room. And then everyone at work just asks him, like, come on, we're going to go down, we'll have some pints, we can watch it at the sports bar. He's like, nope, I don't want to be around other people,
No, it just gets in your head. You're like, oh, I can't scream as much as I want to.
Yeah. Yep. So, plenty on the road or on the TV, sorry, for sports.
Yeah, based on the current undercard now that I can see, Taylor's the not co-main event, but she's the next one on the undercard. So she'll fight, and then right after that, it'll be Joshua's fight.
Oh, that's great. That's great to see her so high up as well.
What we got? We got middleweight, lightweight, welterweight, heavyweight, middleweight. So yeah, there's like 6 other fights in there.
Oh wow, yeah, that's cool.
Including Kater.
Yeah, that's she's the only woman fighting as well, I think. Yeah.
Yes, apart from the woman that she's fighting, who's also a woman.
Yeah,
otherwise it'd be weird.
Just fighting herself. So.
She's just fighting a raccoon.
She's just running around, just sparring, and just before the main event, sparring. I
can't wait. If she becomes a unified title, it'd be so awesome.
Yeah, and the reason why, just for everyone, is because she's from Bray, your hometown as well, and I believe your brother even knows her or has bumped into.
Yeah,
her
he knows the people that he trains with a fighter, and then obviously it's a small town, so there's only I think 3 main gyms, and of that, like the fighters all have to cross over and spar and stuff. So
that's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like it's one thing when it's McGregor's Irish, and you're like, Ireland, yeah, but like hometown,
yeah.
When someone becomes world famous, like she's the most famous person that's ever come out of that town.
Right.
So it's just one of those weird things like, wow, she's actually from such and such, and she goes to this place and she knows these people, and it's great. So happy for her, happy for the town, and happy for Ireland if we have the first ever unified women's champion.
Let's do it up. Let's do the Toronto. Let's do Bray up. Let's do it all up. Everyone knew.
Yeah. And a great thing I should mention about Toronto, which just got me thinking about Taylor, is it's not just that they're winning, it's the way that they do it.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're good at it. And Toronto, what people were like, if you followed the finals, I've just been following in and out. They were 2 games down to start, and then they got the last, I think, four games in a row. Yeah, best of 7. So they've won 4 in a row to win the series. But they've had to beat like the better teams. They haven't had an easy run. Nobody believed they were getting to the finals. And it's just like, when you do it on that level, it's a lot better than when it's a LeBron James situation where everyone expects him to be the champion.
And I believe...
And with Katie, it's like you can see this huge curve of like learning and ability. Like she started off and she's like in the Olympics and she's fighting, and then you can just see her now in the ring. She just looks like she's on a different level than like people she's beating.
She always has been as well. Yeah, like all up until this point. I don't really know much about her opponent. Is she Polish or something? Or, but I know that she's definitely she's definitely going to be a challenge.
Pearsoon. Yeah, I don't know where she's from. Yeah. I'll have to look her up. Well, don't worry. Once Saturday rolls around, we'll be statted up. We'll have a bunch of like notes. We'll look like we know what we're talking about. Be great.
Yeah. And I was just going to say, you mentioned LeBron for the basketball, and I don't know a lot about basketball, so I can't speak to it too much, but I do know that he traded teams or went to a different division, like different teams, so he was just like absolutely kicking ass and ruling on his last team that he was on, so it's definitely changed it this season for him. And also he's getting older as well. So
yes, I think it was Cleveland to Miami.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But even with that, like in the world of basketball, when LeBron James said he's going to go to a different team, that's almost like him just saying this team's going to win the NBA championship.
I know.
Which is what happened. He went and swapped teams, and then that team went and won the championship.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy that like
one man can take the whole team.
Yeah, and it happens in football to some degree, but not like on that level.
Yeah, you need some more. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you are right. Like he can carry the whole team. It's also a morale thing, and just having everyone just on your team knowing that he's there. They will probably play better, and then you win 2 or 3 games, and you're on a roll. So.
Did you watch Game of Thrones lately, Al?
No, I have not.
It's a good idea. Don't watch it. Yeah, shit. It's just everything. It's like it's been a week and I just still seeing things pop up on my feed. I'm like, wow, this is not going away anytime soon.
Well, whenever like an episode came out on Sunday, we'd always talk about it at work. But it would last, like you'd think it would be just like, oh, you're talking about it all on Monday or whatever. But the entire week, all the way up till Friday, was still like, but why? It was just like, but why?
But why?
It's just like, oh,
yeah. I was just mentioning it because now the 2 guys, Benioff and Wise D&D, they're going to go do Star Wars now.
Yes.
And then we didn't get to talk about it when it came out, but that Star Wars trailer when that came out, for the last return, final Jedi Rising, whatever, Skywalker Rises.
Yeah.
Like I watched that trailer and I'm just like, what the no way.
Yeah, it didn't do anything for me.
And I had, and I'm getting a segue. I was planning this, a segue. The thing that got me this week to feel the same was the new Terminator Dark Fate trailer.
Oh, yeah.
See that, Al? That was a 3-step segue. That was pretty sweet.
I quite like what you did there. And what did you think of the Terminator trailer?
It looks like every other Terminator trailer that's ever come out.
Mate, they're on a friggin' freeway and they're jumping between cars. I was just like, I have seen this before, guys. And then they're, 100% seen that before. Even seen some of those actors as well.
There's a good one defending a child against a bad one, and then there's this one, and
also Arnie's got a beard in it. Isn't that the same Terminator? I don't know. It's like Terminators can grow beards now.
I heard the rumor that he's the human that they based the Terminator off.
Oh, right.
So he's like a military guy or something.
Yeah, in the forest.
Yeah. But like, just in general, it's like, I'm not excited about like everything that's coming out now, just to give you a rundown of Neri being a miserable shit. I don't care about X-Men. I don't care about Star Wars. And I don't care about Terminator. Like, what world are we living in where those things are now just dead in the water to me?
They've been beaten around the bush, mate. They've just been again and again and again. They're just doing the same thing. Terminator, we've seen it before. Star Wars, I'm not a Star Wars fan, but even that trailer was just, I don't know, it was just generic. Maybe they just didn't want to show too much off. And then what was the other one you mentioned? X-Men. X-Men is on the bottom of that whole pile because we've seen it all.
Yeah.
We've seen.
That's out next week.
We've seen Jean Grey.
Or 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, just not cool. Not cool at all. And like you said, yeah, those are big films, and it's just there's no fun coming out of that. Yeah, especially the X-Men.
X-Men's like in our wheelhouse. That's the kind of movie people expect us to go and see, and comic books and I was just like, I don't care. I don't want to watch it.
Yeah. No, and
it's not superhero fatigue. I'm just like, I don't care. I don't care. You're just doing this X-Men 3 again.
I honestly don't think I'll watch X-Men even when it comes out on DVD. But what we could do is we could do a rant and watch it both at the same time. For the
just fall apart
for the
as it's
first
on.
time as well. Yeah.
Oh, we should do that for what's that other crappy X-Men one? Wolverine. Wolverine Origins.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We should do it back to back. We should do Wolverine Origins because that's a ranter.
Yeah.
And then watch Logan.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, good and bad. Yeah, that would be good. And also, or bad and good, I should say. But we did the other Wolverine commentary, and that did really well. People really enjoyed that, so we definitely should hit that up.
I also have to put a poll up. I'm going to put it up this evening. Does everyone prefer me when I'm swearing or not swearing every 5 seconds?
I'm going to say
because I tried real hard last. I'd say swearing's probably there, but there's nothing that makes me really angry. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. The Terminator Dark Fate. I'm not excited for it and I don't want to watch it. And I don't see what the appeal is to show me that Schwarzenegger's in it or show me that Sarah Connor's back in it, because it's like you said, it's not so much getting the special guests cameos or the new characters. It's like what you're showing me is visually and story-wise what I've seen for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Since like 1992 when Terminator 2 came out.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they can't. It's like every Terminator story is the same. And it's the same thing with Star Wars, where it's like every Star Wars story has to just go back to the same set parameters. And you're always, as a fan, you just thinking, there's so much more you could do with this. And you keep shitting the bed over and over again.
Isn't the new Terminator Cameron as well?
He's producing it, but it's being directed by Tim Miller, who did Deadpool.
Oh, interesting. Okay. But it's just, yeah.
Mackenzie Davis is like the good Terminator, and then I can't remember the guy's name who's playing the new T-1000 kind of Terminator.
Yeah, liquid fucker again. And he transforms, goes through the windscreen while they're on the freeway. It's just like Terminator 2, anyone? Slash every Terminator.
Like, here's something I actually came up on my feed, or not my feed, on my TV the other day. I was flicking through it. Was Alien Covenant. And Alien Covenant is one we're definitely going to have to do a rant on soon, mate, because that one, that's all over the shop in terms of like here and there.
They basically killed Alien because they're not doing any more after that. So
no, but what I will say is, and we've talked about this before for all our faithful listeners, we have to give them a name. We can't just call them listeners, because they're active participants.
Yeah, like Benedict Cumberbatch has Cumber Bitches.
Cumber Bitches,
and then there's a couple of we got to come up with a name. Yeah,
we'll put one in the comment section. Whoever can get the best term for the people who comment and listen and eventually watch us in like October and November. Give us your best name for what you are. What are you? Are you Cumber Bitches? Are you Fleming Lemmings? What are you? I don't know what you are, but you're out there. But the thing with the Terminator, like you said, was you have this great concept that they just repeat over and over again. And you think the fans are going to just eat it up. And it's like, I don't care that you're showing me the moment from T2. There's a shot in it where she's fighting him in a factory, like an automated factory line where you can see all the robot arms in the background. I'm like, it's Terminator 1. It's the end of Terminator 1. What are you doing? Yeah.
And again, Terminator 2, there's a factory. In one of the other Terminators, you can see the Arnolds that they're making, all the other ones. So there's a factory in almost all of them anyway. So
they just seem to do it over and over and just think, oh, it's all going to be fine. Nothing's going to worry about it.
yeah,
And even the concept is that, oh, we'll do a new type of Terminator because that's what people want to see. Like Terminator 2 wasn't great because the T-1000 was a new type of Terminator. That helped, but it was because it was a really great movie.
Yeah, yeah. It's
because they've done that in every one of them, haven't they? Like T3 was the woman who could control machines.
That's right.
Terminator Salvation was the Terminator that's also a human, or like a human that's made into a Terminator.
Right.
And had the biggest plot hole of all of them.
Was that the Christian Bale one, or is that?
Yeah, it's Christian Bale one.
Yeah, yeah.
Then there's the Terminator Genesis.
Oh God, I
which
forgot
is
about that.
John Connor is the Terminator, and it's like all nanotech. So he looks human, but he can heal himself and whatever, and there's all other crap. Now we have a Terminator that can be liquid and metal at the same time in two different bodies.
Yeah.
Really? Like I'm supposed to give a shit about this?
Nice and original there. Yeah, I feel like it's almost a little bit like a Game of Thrones where they're going visual with it, and they're like, especially in a trailer, like show Arnie, show some of the old cast members, and then a couple of cool action scenes. But like, it's just it feels hollow just from the trailer. So, but anyway, I'm a little surprised just because it's Cameron as well.
Yeah. But he's going to make good money because he's going to make Avatar 2 to 7 in the next few years.
That's actually.
Well, my point was that
Avatar's on my list. Sorry, yeah.
I was going to get back to it, which was Covenant is a piece of shit, and we're definitely going to have to talk about that. That's a film that deserves to be sweared at.
Yeah, sure.
But it has some ideas in it that are like, okay, whatever, finger my flute and all this. But Prometheus, which we have talked about before to all our listeners, that's where I was going with that.
Oh yeah.
We like Prometheus. It's not the best film and it's not perfect, but it has that originality and it has that tone.
Oh yeah.
And there's moments in it where you get the little bit of the goosebumps, a little bit of the feels, and it's still in the alien universe. And there's a lot to talk about why that is. But I would much rather have a failed Prometheus than a successful Covenant. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like Covenant, you're successful, but you're aiming for shite. You're aiming for the bottom of the barrel with that. It's like, here's the alien running through the ship, killing a guy in the shower. Ugh, scary, guys. It's like, no, that's not scary. Look, the girl's doing the same thing Sigourney Weaver did in the first Alien. She's running through the corridors. It's like, great. That's what I get out of this Terminator movie. This idea of, let's have a Terminator. And I've got an idea, let's have a Terminator fight a Terminator trying to save a kid. It's like, really? Really? Come on.
It's
just take the idea that you've got a time-traveling supercomputer and do something original. And if it just blows up in your face, at least it'll be interesting.
Yeah, it's a very good comparison, the Covenant and the Terminator. And I 100% agree as well. It's just like, it's almost like they're trying to make this film for people that haven't seen the other Terminators. And it's like, well, it's going to be new and fresh for them. It's like, well, or they could just watch the old ones. It's just like, and I know Alien in Toronto is being played in some theaters again, but done on the original film and all that lot.
It's the 40th anniversary this year. Came out in 1979.
And it also came out in 4K as well, which I'm not sure how well that would be because it's going to be grainy in some point, but it might be kind of cool to see that anyway. And it was an excellent film, but I do like that comparison with Covenant because Covenant basically killed the franchise for the time being because they were going to do some more, but it did so poorly. I believe that the director is now going to be working on another District 13, but I haven't heard anything about that either, so he's probably just...
District 9, yeah.
Sorry, District 9, sorry.
Neil Blomkamp, yeah, because he was originally supposed to do it, and then Ripley stepped in and he did Prometheus and Covenant.
Yeah.
And there's a whole... Yeah, like I said, we can talk about the backstory to that when we do a commentary. But it basically came down to, like, he had this idea for a sci-fi movie, and I don't think he could get the funding for it, so he said, I'll make it an alien movie. And then obviously the studio said, okay, here, have as much money as you want. So that's why it's this story about where does life on Earth come from.
Okay.
But then for some reason it came from aliens and blue men. Like blue men made us, that's okay, but why were the aliens involved and why did they make weapons and why did they leave us? And like it got confusing, and then Covenant comes along. And the reason I see Covenant is the same as this Dark Fate Terminator is Covenant. Prometheus kind of existed on its own. Covenant is very clearly trying to make a prequel, sequel. Like it's trying to answer all these questions, and it's trying to rewrite what's happening, and it's trying to tie everything together. And I don't know if you know this, but Dark Fate, the new Terminator one, that's supposed to be Terminator 3. It's set after T2.
Oh shit, okay.
So like the other ones we mentioned, Salvation and Genesis and T3, they didn't happen. They're not going to be mentioned. It's going to be Terminator 1, Terminator 2, and then this.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, because in Terminator 3, John Connor's grown up, and he mentions the fact that his mother's dead.
Okay,
but obviously Sarah Connor's alive in this one.
Yeah.
Huh. But to me, that's the same bullshit. It's like you're taking a great universe that's being built, and you're going, okay, we're just going to do a sequel, and we're going to rewrite it, we're going to connect it, and it'll work out fine. It's like, show me one time that's worked.
Yeah, just take some bloody risks for a change.
Yeah. But it's going to make a bunch of money, so that's all anyone cares about.
It's going to make a bunch of money, more than usual, because of the original actors in there as well.
Yeah, but even they don't make sense, because like, if you're doing what you said and you're trying to get in new people and be like, look how great this Terminator is going to be for you and your kids. It's not like your granddad's version. And then you're like, okay, but why are you showing the actors from Terminator 2, which came out 20 years ago?
Yeah, it's true, actually. It's just like, well then,
like,
yeah.
Who's a new fan that's thinking, oh yeah, I really wanted to see Linda Hamilton back? It doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
They're just trying to take money from everybody.
Of course. It's just the Game of Thrones bug again, isn't it?
Oh yeah, gotta please everybody, so you end up pleasing nobody.
I did have a really cool one. A trailer that came out this week was Star Trek Picard. It didn't really show too much, and I was surprised they're actually calling it Star Trek Picard. But very anxious to see that. I'm more of a Trekkie than I am a Star Wars fan. And I loved Next Generation. I did look up on IMDb, and it's just him, and then a bunch of new kind of cast members. So it's not like Riker and people like that aren't in it. But I was told that Whoopi Goldberg's going to try and make an appearance, and I wouldn't be surprised if Riker did like a cameo here and there as well. But did you see the trailer?
I did. Like, it's just a brief.
It doesn't really show you anything.
No. The thing about it that I'm hoping is that we're going down the Chernobyl route, and it's like a limited series, because hopefully Patrick Stewart is big enough and smart enough to be like, I'm not doing an endless show. I'm not doing 7 seasons of this shit. I'm not getting into a Game of Thrones world. I'm like, I want a story that's going to be like 2 seasons of 10 episodes or something.
Yeah, 100%. I see it like that as well. I see it like it probably will take off, but I can see him saying like, nope, we said to each other it's going to be 3 seasons and that's it,
Exactly, because if it's like Discovery, I've stopped watching it.
Yeah,
I don't want, and we've talked about Discovery, it's not really Star Trek if you take away the Star Trek name.
Yeah, it's very, very fair that, yeah.
Whereas with this Picard, it's kind of a different situation. Like, I've watched all the Next Generation show. I've watched the DS9. Like, we know his universe, his Star Trek story, and obviously all the movies. So I wouldn't want to have too much of him. I just want like a Logan situation. I want a send off.
Yeah, I can kind of see that.
I want a goodbye.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny when you mentioned him like being a big enough pull that you can make it smaller. As soon as you mentioned that, I thought Logan as well. I guess he was in that as well. But
it's true. But that was his goodbye to Xavier. So
yeah.
Hopefully this is his goodbye to Picard.
Yeah, just slowly saying goodbye to everything, isn't he? He's getting on now.
Yeah, him and Ian, they're getting up there.
It still actually looks great, but like people say, oh, you haven't aged a bit, but it's like, well, if you do look at him in the Next Generation, he's rather young. He also, just as his little Easter egg, he was also in Coronation Street.
Really?
Yeah, he was a fireman, and back in the day where it was black and white TV, and I think that was one of his first acting jobs. So
he is 78 years old.
Oh yeah, look at that.
He was born in 1940.
And he's
what a legend.
He's a real down to earth, like super nice guy as well.
Yeah, he's great. Him and McKellen are just top blokes.
Oh yeah. The other thing that was on my
I'm looking forward to Picard.
The other thing that was on my radar was and I don't know if this will be on yours. This is a little bit less than Picard, but Stranger Things 3. I loved the first season. The second one was just okay. I'm hoping they kind of bring it back with this one and try some new things. But this one is going to be out on July the 4th, and it's going to be and I think the actual season is set over July the 4th as well, or at least like before and after it. But it's in the summer as well, so I know usually they come out in Halloween in October. So kind of anxious to see that. I like that kind of old school 80s vibe as well that it has to it. It's definitely on my radar. And it's Netflix, so they'll release them all at the same time, and I'll definitely dig into that.
I think I'm probably the same. Like season 1 was obviously season 1.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it. I didn't fall in love with it. Season 2, I was like, it's the same stuff happening.
Yeah,
but it's okay. If season 3 is the same thing, I'm gonna be like, nah, screw this.
Oh yeah, if season 3 is the same, then it's gone, and I don't think they should do any more. But I'm hoping they change it up a little bit. But yeah, it's on my radar.
Did you know they're getting sued though?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, did you not know that the guys who made it, the Duffer Brothers,
okay,
either Duffer Brothers or Netflix, but there's a lawsuit.
Yeah,
that it's the Duffer Brothers. They stole the idea.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I think it was like a few years ago. There was another filmmaker.
Okay,
and he was talking to them at like a festival. And he said, "Hey, I've got this idea. It's going to be like 4 kids, and there's a thing, and there's an upside down, and like very specific." Like he's saying very specific details in his lawsuit that they stole.
Right.
So that's supposed to be happening in the next couple of months, like over the summer.
Oh wow,
that goes anywhere.
Oh wow.
I'm pretty sure that even if they did steal it, if Netflix just go, look, buddy, here's $10 million, go away.
Yeah. Yeah, I know Netflix are starting to show like how many people are watching their shows as well. So I'd imagine that's one of their big ones as well.
They're turning into just a beast at the moment. I think they're spending, I'm not going to get this number right, but it's close to like $10 billion, if not more.
Oh shit!
This year.
Wow. And
I'm making or buying or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy numbers.
They're doing an excellent job though, like of buying the right stuff, and I mean, obviously the catalog is a little bit like you got to scroll through to find something good, but they do have good stuff in there. You just got to sometimes find and dig a little bit.
I think it's also because they have to jump ahead of the competition. You've got the Amazon are now trying to make money, or they got their Lord of the Rings, so they're trying to make money through that, and then you've got Disney are taking away all the Marvel titles, all the Disney titles.
Oh yeah,
Disney just bought Hulu. Disney bought Fox, so
yeah, they're coming in hard.
It's getting very competitive very quickly.
Yeah, and I believe Disney and Apple are both out in November, so that's going to be an interesting time and what happens there as well. So, and then Disney have also said that Endgame will be out on the Disney service at Christmas as well in 4K and all that lot. I think you'll be able to get it before, like just buy the DVD, but like actually streaming on the service. So they're going to be bringing the big ones and like the Star Wars and all that lot.
Well, once the DVD's out, we'll do our commentary on that as well.
Oh yeah, that's going to be excellent. The other one that was on my radar.
What have you been up to?
Just the other one that was on my radar was Black Mirror, because and that just leads into that I haven't actually watched the one that's interactive. Have you watched that one yet?
Oh, Bandersnatch.
Yeah.
No, I haven't watched it yet.
So yeah, it's interactive. It's not interactive on the Apple TV, but you can do it on like Chrome in your browser. So I definitely want to jump on that. But the Black Mirror is out, I think, next week on Netflix. So that's a big thing for Netflix to have. That's season 5, I believe. So definitely want to jump on that. That's big enough that maybe we could even do a review of that or something. So
I still have to watch some of the episodes from season 4. Like I haven't watched Bandersnatch, and then there's a couple of episodes that I kind of jumped over. Then I have to watch. You know how you do with Black Mirror? It's kind of like you don't have to. Watch
You don't have to watch them. No, you don't. I love Black Mirror. It's so good. But the thing with the interactive part of it, apparently people quite liked it. It was pretty good. And the other thing, I don't know if this is Netflix. I think it is, but they've got a Bear Grylls interactive. Do you know about this?
It's Bear Grylls, or you versus Bear Grylls, or something like that. Yeah,
I thought that might interest you just because of like the TV show that you're doing as well. But you can like kind of tell him like, oh, you've got to go for a fish instead of hunt for the squirrel or whatever it is. I haven't actually done it yet, but I've heard that you can tell him to jump off the cliff into the water or take the the rope down the rocks. So it's an interesting way of doing things. And then I guess you can just rewatch it and then get him to do other, like the other things. And that's what the Bandersnatch was like as well. So, but they were kind of like smart in a way that if you didn't press anything on your keyboard, that it would just play out like a default action. But I guess it would ask you what you want to do while like the scene is still being acted out. So it's very kind of seamless. So it's not like they just.
I get you.
So, which is cool. But yeah, so interactive TV. That's kind of it's kind of been around for a while with like press the red button, but now you're actually really interacting with the content. So
choose your own adventure.
Choose. Endgame has taken over Avatar. Fuck off, Avatar. So, I mean, no one likes Avatar, man. Why did it do so well?
It's just because they had this great campaign about 3D, baby, it's back. We've never had it before, except in the 50s and the 60s and every decade since. But this time it's back.
This time it's back. And I bet you their advertising budget was fucking huge. So they probably, maybe they made so much money, but they spent half of it on advertising, But Endgame has officially
I guess also
taken
Cameron
over.
just has that pull because he's the Titanic man. He hadn't done anything since then, really. And it's just like, okay, well, I like seeing Leonardo DiCaprio die, so maybe this will be good.
And you mentioned it earlier on, but they've officially said Avatar 2, 3, 4, and 5, but they're being delayed. So by the time Avatar 5 comes out, it will be 2028. It's like, jeez. What in the fuck? Like, how do you know if people want to watch all of that,
I don't even understand what he's making anymore. Because Avatar came out, then he said it's part of a trilogy. Then he said there'll be 5 films. And then he just hasn't done anything at all. It's like he's constantly trying to upgrade the technology, but he's no longer ahead of the game. That's how I feel. Like when he made Avatar, he was the first guy on that level of 3D, the new 3D way of projection. But I think now he's trying to be like the new thing, but he's never able to get fast enough to get there. So he's always like, it's delayed. It'll be out soon. It's delayed.
Yeah.
Mate, Avatar came out 10 years ago.
I know, yeah. That is pretty, that's an age to a film. But I did hear that he wanted to do this thing, and this was years ago as well, but he wanted to make 3D in a cinema without the glasses, but he wanted Avatar to be like the first film to launch that way. But I'm like, that requires like every friggin' theater in the world to update itself, It's like, I mean, I don't know if they did that for the original Avatar, but yeah, that's what I heard somewhere, that he wanted it to be, without every theater can watch it in 3D without glasses or something like that. So
it's also you got to remember with the price of tickets, he had 3D pricing on his tickets, so automatically it was going to be more expensive. And then I remember I saw it in IMAX just because you have to go see it in the best screen possible, and so like they're opening the money that they're pulling in is just so much higher than everything else at that period.
Yeah, yeah. And
I still don't know why it made so much money though.
Visually, it was excellent. And years ago, when I had a 3D TV, I downloaded it in 3D, and it was incredible. It like looked really good, even on a home theater TV. But that was it. The thing is, though, I never actually watched the film. I always skipped through, and I skipped through to like a couple of jungle scenes. I watched it, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." Turned it off. I was like, "I'm not actually interested in the story remotely," you know.
I think Endgame is also impressive. Like, people are saying tickets are more expensive, but Endgame is hitting all these records so much quicker than everybody else.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is also the new way they measure things, because it was like The Force Awakens was the first film to make 100 million in a day and 200 million in 3 days, and now Endgame's just destroying all of them.
I know,
and it's just it's weird that it makes so much money so fast, because I think Titanic was in the cinemas for a year before it disappeared, and Avatar's in the cinemas for nearly like 6 or 7 months before it disappeared.
Yeah.
But like Endgame is probably going to start disappearing out of cinemas in the next 3 weeks or so.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. Interesting thing I was hearing on Endgame is chatting to a couple of guys at work, and they're not massive. They're action film fans and they're movie fans, but they're not like hugely into like Marvel like we are. But they know the characters. They've seen a lot of the films. Like, I don't think all of them had seen Captain Marvel, but they'd seen Thor, and they knew about it. And I had about 5 people tell me, "Oh, but it's 3 hours. I'm not sure if I can be asked with that," And I thought that was kind of interesting, because yes, it's the end to those films, so I understand why it is 3 hours. But if you think about it, if you're just going to the cinema to see an action film, 3 hours is a bloody long time. For us, we're like, as much screen time as possible. I want to see these characters. But for your average Joe, 3 hours is almost too long, So,
absolutely. Like, if you haven't gone in watching the previous 20 movies, you're going to be like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
I'm not watching this for 3 hours.
And they also thought like the first like hour or 45 minutes was a little too slow. But then again, I think you need to show the devastation of Thanos, and I was actually looking forward to seeing like everyone down and out, But yeah, it just hit me. I was just like, yeah, I guess if you're just off to the cinema, like some people on the weekends are like, what do you want to do? Do you want to go see a film? And they're like, yeah, let's go see Endgame, But then I can see, I'm sitting in there going like, bloody hell, this is a long film, Even though it is jam-packed.
Well, if you're trying to get one of those late screenings, and it's like, oh yeah, we'll go to, we had dinner. You want to go see a movie? Yeah, we'll go see a movie. What's the next screening? 10:45, Endgame.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not going to end till 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I think I'd rather just go see that movie about the dog that runs away from home. Let's do that instead.
That one's 45 minutes. It's a mini series. What was the other thing I had? I had one other thing, which was Sonic. Fucking Sonic. Did you remember? Have you seen the trailer?
Jesus.
I'm swearing a lot on this one.
I'm so sorry to Terminator Dark Fate. I shouldn't have badmouthed that trailer. It's the best trailer ever made. It's the Citizen Kane of trailers compared to Sonic.
Well, the Sonic thing, and I know we've probably all heard it, but like it was the main thing was, well, I mean, it was horrible. It just looked horrible. But the Sonic didn't look like Sonic. Like, so what happened was they released the trailer, and it's the one you can see right now. But Sonic is like, he's deformed, like he's not proportioned right, like the computer game character. So then quite a few artists and just Photoshop people, even like someone like myself, started editing it, saying like, well, I think his legs should be thinner and he should be taller, and then his eyes should be, more slanted and stuff like that. So I believe someone that worked on God of War, the game for PlayStation, actually did a really good render, and that was the one that started trending a lot. And he just took one of the CGI parts from the film and said, I just did this, it took me half an hour, but this is kind of how Sonic should look. And then from then it just rolled on. But the cool thing is they're delaying it till 2020 February because they're actually fixing Sonic. So it does prove that if you kick up enough fuss and get people to sign petitions and stuff, something could happen from it, What was your thoughts on it?
Remake Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah,
remake.
I know.
There's a part of me that's like, I'm just like, no, don't get. With the Sonic thing, I get it's just a CGI thing. It's an easy fix, but it's like the Game of Thrones thing. I'm off on a tangent again. The Game of Thrones thing where you want them to remake. It's like, no, they screwed it up. They don't get another chance.
They definitely don't. No, and it's I was just about to go off on one there.
Yeah, but yeah, that Sonic thing. I'm just like, is Jim Carrey just doing Ace Ventura here?
Oh,
and he's
God.
like, he's doing the same stuff, and there's a part of me that I'm just thinking, Jim, you're lately with your interviews and like the way you talk, and he's got that great documentary on Netflix about making Man on the Moon about Andy Kaufman and stuff, and I'm just like, you're such a smart guy, and you got such a level of depth to you that nobody would have thought back in the day. Why are you making a Sonic movie, mate?
Oh,
What's going on?
Yeah, he like
How
people.
How much money did they back up to his house to make that?
People, have been saying that he's kind of lost his mind a little bit, not just because of Sonic, but before that as well. And he's had some weird shit go on with like his girlfriend or something. His girlfriend died or something.
Oh wow!
Yeah, but that was years ago. But then, I don't know. It was like a bit dodgy how she died. But what was I going to say? Yeah, so that's just kind of like a little rundown of the last couple of weeks since Game of Thrones been on, what I've been kind of
rundown. Sonic, I get you. Oh, you're funny. You should make a Sonic movie.
See what I did there. Well, I know that computer game movies are notoriously bad as well. I think I've not seen Assassin's Creed, but I've heard that's possibly one of the better ones. But like, look at Doom and shit like that.
I saw Assassin's Creed. It's terrible.
It's terrible. And you like Fassbender as well.
It's terrible. I love Fassbender.
So what?
I should just watch it again in silence and jerk off to him.
Maybe we'll do a rant on that one. There's so many ones to rant about, isn't there?
I don't get how they can keep going back to the well and just thinking, oh yeah, video games are going to work. I had a rant about this like a few weeks ago when we were talking about it. And it's just like, video games are a different animal. You can't make them like a movie.
Yeah. Didn't we talk about Uncharted like that? Weren't we saying like Uncharted's built like a movie? So like, why would you do a movie of it? Because it already is kind of an interactive movie anyway, you know?
Yeah, like what are you bringing to that?
Yeah.
That isn't already in the game already.
I know. And then, yeah, exactly that. And I do think they're doing one as well.
Video games just stay being video games. Although I've heard the Pokemon Pikachu is pretty good, but that's not really based on a game. Like that's just taking the character, right?
I don't know about that one. All I know is Ryan Reynolds is the Pikachu, isn't he?
Yeah, he's the voice of Pikachu.
It's so weird to hear.
Deadpool.
And then Deadpool. And then on my one to watch was Chernobyl, which I mentioned. Cobra Kai, because I've seen season 1, so I want to tune into season 2. I don't know if you've seen it or anyone else out there, but very good actually. Like if you like the Karate Kid movies, it's a very good sequel to them, I guess. Definitely worth tuning into. They're only 20 minutes each, and there's like 10 of them, so nice and quick. And then the other big one, which I'm hearing very 50-50. I'm either hearing it's fucking awesome, or I'm hearing it's like, oh my god, what are they doing? But John Wick 3. So I know John Wick 3 is just like a Taken. It's just a Liam Neeson, you killed my dog, whatever. But I'm hearing mixed things. But I definitely want to watch that. Just want to see.
I've heard it's great. I heard it's like the best of the trilogy.
Oh, that's awesome then. Yeah. So
in terms of action, like it's like, oh yeah, because they have so much more money and they can just go over the top. Yeah, it's just like bang bang, shot in the head everywhere.
I'm a sucker for like kind of neon look as well, like at nighttime it's raining, neon look, that kind of techno lust vibe. So it's definitely bringing some of that, so that is on my list. But out of all of it, Brightburn will be the first one, and we'll do a review of that next week.
Yeah, Uncharted's getting a game. I'm just lost now in all the upcoming video game movies.
Good Lord.
I went down a rabbit hole.
Oh, let us know what other ones are coming out.
The Last of Us, that's coming out.
Oh, really?
Uncharted's coming out.
Okay.
Apparently they're making a Gears of War one.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised by that.
That's going to work.
The Gears of War, I heard that they wanted to get Batista to play the main guy, I think. And then What was the other one? The Last of Us. That's basically 28 days later. It's already been done.
Yeah, and they've had it, but they've already got a sequel in the game version for it, so they've got an inbuilt like story. It's like, oh, we're definitely going to have 2 movies out of this thing.
Oh, good lord. What ones have been? Oh, Street Fighter. Remember Street Fighter? With it had bloody what's her name? Kylie Minogue.
Chun-Li.
Kylie Minogue was in there.
Yeah.
She was Cam.
She was
Cam.
The
Cam,
Jean-Claude
Camo
Van Damme one.
Yeah. That was fucking
Cammy.
cool.
Yeah.
Cammy. Then you had Doom with Dwayne.
The Rock.
There's definitely a lot of other shite ones.
Mario. That's the famous one.
Yeah, that's bad. Oh yeah.
Here's one for you. This is one you're gonna want to watch.
What's that?
Minecraft, the movie.
Of course, I'll tune into that. That just reminds me of like that Pixels film, which I've not seen, but I've heard is absolutely terrible. I do want to get your thoughts on this new Batman Patterson or whatever being Batman.
He's not Batman, just so everyone can stop crying about it. He's tipped to be Batman.
Oh, so it's not confirmed.
It's not confirmed.
Right.
As far as I know from when I read the article, like if you read the article and then just see the headline, which a lot of people do.
Yeah.
He's in talks to be Batman.
I see. Well, I saw your tweet. I was just like, oh, is he going off on a rant here?
No, because it's one of those things now that it's very hard to like, people know Robert Pattinson because of Twilight.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Like, that's your only exposure to him. I don't think it's fair to judge a guy on that when he's got another 7 or 8 movies in between that are all like indie, low budget. Like, he could be terrible in all of them. I haven't watched them. I'm not going to say I have. But the thing that always gets me with Batman movies, and I think it's only Batman movies that get the credit for this, is when it comes to casting, Batman movies are famous for having really weird sounding people cast, and then they turn out to be perfect.
Right.
And the best 2 examples are the original Batman movie from Tim Burton.
Okay.
He cast Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton was, Beetlejuice. He's this comedic, kind of weird looking, skinny actor with curly hair. And you're like, that's not billionaire Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
But he's Batman. He's just quality Batman. He just nails it for that version. And then the next one that got me, and I still remember, was that Nolan was making his sequel to Batman Begins, and he says, I'm going to make Heath Ledger the Joker. And everyone now loves that. They just think that's the bee's knees of casting. To me, only thing I'd ever seen that kid in was A Knight's Tale. And I'm like, that's the Joker?
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to be the worst movie ever. It's a disaster. He's throwing it away.
Yeah.
So with Batman movies, and even like Affleck, when Affleck got Batman, I'm like, oh crap, Armageddon Affleck, what's he doing?
Yeah.
The casting's rarely a fault. Like, sometimes it's terrible. Not going to say Batman movies haven't had terrible casting. George Clooney is Batman, but that's the movie's bad. That's not just him being an out Batman.
Sure, yeah.
But like, I think with Batman movies, I'm kind of inclined to just give it a little more, all right, let's see what happens here.
Yeah, that's fair.
That being said, I really don't see that kid being intimidating in a costume.
Not at all. Yeah, he might surprise us, but I think maybe I
could see him doing a great Bruce Wayne. I could see him doing like a very like charming, like slick haired, like modern kind of billionaire who's like got like the Mark Zuckerberg got rich real young kind of thing. He can play that vibe, and then when he's off alone in the cave, he's kind of like, oh, I miss my mom and dad. I can't believe they got killed. Let's show it again. But I don't see him getting into a costume like Bale and just being like, rawr.
I know. And it's like, I wonder if they were testing the waters by even like releasing something like that. But that's maybe a cruel way of doing it, saying like, he might be Batman. What do people think?
Did you know, what's his name? Ian, come back to me. Ian Owen. Jorah from Game of Thrones.
Right, yeah.
He's Batman.
Really?
Apparently he's been cast as Batman in the Titans TV series.
Oh, shit.
So he's playing like an older Dark Knight Returns 50-year-old Batman.
That's cool.
Apparently, that's what I've heard.
Yeah, I like him in Game of Thrones. So
Yeah, I think he'd be a good Batman in terms of playing that older, angry kind of
for
Batman.
sure, yeah, for sure. He's got that vibe.
But he's got that, yeah, and he's also got that stately kind of like calm demeanor where you can just say things. It's like, oh yeah, I believe him. I know what he's saying.
Yeah. I don't know why there's even this was linked to Batman, but they are doing another James Bond, which I didn't realize. But Daniel Craig like snapped his ankle, so they have to put off some of his shots for a couple of months, I guess. But I didn't know they were doing another James Bond, so because I know there was a lot of talk.
How did you not know they're doing a new James Bond?
Well, I thought they were looking for someone else because I know all that.
We don't talk enough. We're going to have like a weekly set time where we sit down and talk about these things.
I think so.
If we could arrange, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Because it was did you not know this was supposed to be Danny Boyle?
Oh, I did. Yeah, I did hear about that, but it's not him anymore, no?
No, he dropped out, and that made me a little bit nervous because I'm like, I like Danny Boyle a lot.
Oh, he's excellent, yeah. Oh, that's a shame.
And what did he do? He's done that new movie that's coming out this week, Yesterday.
Okay, right, yeah.
That's not. I'm not talking about Saturday. I mean, Yesterday's the name of the movie.
Yeah.
Jokes.
Look at you.
Yeah, because this is Bond 25. It's the 25th Bond movie.
Yeah, so it better be good.
So it was supposed to be like Craig send off, apparently, and then it's going to have Danny Boyle, and it was going to have all these references to previous Bonds, and
right.
Then he dropped out, and I'm like, crap. I really would have liked to have seen a Danny Boyle Bond.
Yeah, that is a shame, actually. I wonder if maybe he'll do the next one with a new person and launch it nicely or something.
Yeah, because they still haven't released the name of the Bond, the name of the movie. It's just called Bond 25 if you look it up.
Okay, right.
But they did release the cast. So Do you know who the cast is?
No, I don't.
Well, they have like the same characters that were in Skyfall and in...
Oh, they do? Okay.
Yeah, so M is still Ralph Fiennes.
Yeah.
Noomi Harris is Moneypenny. He still has his girlfriend from Spectre. But the main cast was the bad guy is going to be Rami Malek.
Oh, okay.
Who just comes off the back of his Oscar win for Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, I can see him being pretty good. Well, quite different in that as well, obviously.
Yeah, I think his character is going to be less Freddie Mercury, more Mr. Robot.
I think
he's going to go down that.
Yeah. No, that'll be sweet.
Although if he does sing and dance his way through Bond 25 and they make it a musical, that'd be pretty awesome.
That'd be a nice little finish, yeah.
My name is Bond.
There you go, man. That's it. That's the intro right there.
I should be doing this. Yeah, I should be doing that famous Bond tune.
And when you go, that's him shooting his gun, and then the blood comes down.
Yeah, 2D blood scripting down.
We've done it, man.
Perfect.
We should be writing this.
We've done it. No one needs to see it.
Boom. Yeah, that kind of wraps it up for me. I don't know if you got any other stuff on your end.
No, we were just catching up. Game of Thrones kind of took all their time and sucked their souls out.
It did definitely suck the soul, that's for sure. But
it definitely sucked.
Let us know in the comments, guys, what you guys want us to chat about, and maybe if you're a commentary or a rant and stuff, and what have you been watching as well? Have you seen Brightburn? Have you seen John Wick 3? What did you think of it? And if you just want to rant about Game of Thrones, go for it.
Yeah, just go nuts on it. And I just want to say again, if somebody can come up with a name for you guys, I'm giving the community the chance to name itself.
Oh.
You guys go ahead and do that. We're going down a different route. Also, I'm going to put that poll up on Twitter right now. Do you prefer when me and Al swear or don't swear?
Do it up. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week with some more podcasting, and then we'll get some reviews and commentaries done as well.
Yeah, I hope you guys had a great one. Take it easy. Take care of yourselves.
All right. Actually, we will see you on Saturday for the boxing.
Oh, yeah. Tune in for that, guys.
Yeah.
A couple of guys who know nothing about boxing talking about it for hours.
Yeah, just pulling up useless stats that we don't know anything about.
No, I think he hit him with a left gammy tune there. Just making shit up.
What score is it? Right.
Go Raptors.
Go Raptors. Whack him in the face.
See you guys.
All right, cheers. Boom.